Yeah, and so we have a message today that's quite frankly, it's kind of simple. Right? The message is kind of simple, but we focus a lot in our society on red flags. Right. And these red flags are the warning signs that we get. Red flags are the danger, danger. Something up is coming up ahead. You got to watch this. The red flags are very useful because when you see a red flag, you're supposed to get like an instant alert. That was like something is off here. Something ain't right. Something has gone wrong. I need to be mindful. I need to be careful. And don't be demure, right? unless the situation calls for it. But red flags are really important because they warn us that there is potential harm coming our way. Unfortunately, when you live in a society like ours, we can sometimes focus so much on the red flags that that's all we're looking for. Right? Have you ever, and you've played that game in the car before as a little kid before devices were introduced into our family car trips. But the game where it's like you gotta, what's the car you're looking for? Like maybe I'm gonna look for a red Beetle, or you're gonna look for a black BMW, whatever. I don't know, a black Ford, whatever. But you play this game of every person identifying the car that they're looking for, and then whoever finds the most amount of cars of the type that they're looking for, they win the game, right? Well, one of the things that I learned early on when I was a little kid playing that game was that if you're looking intentionally for something, you're going to see a lot more of it than you typically would in your everyday experience, right? Like every day, I don't just go around counting red, buggy cars. What do you call them? VW Beetles? I can't remember what they're called. We used to call them buggies when I was little. A Beetle? Yeah, Amina says a buggy. Okay, right. So Amina and I are in agreement. We're going to call these cars buggies. So I don't go around just looking around for red buggies all over the place. But if I'm playing that game and I have identified that the red buggy is my car, I'm going to see the red buggy everywhere. Although I just realized we played this game a lot in Germany, so maybe that's why I saw them more than I would see them on the road here. Do with that what you will. The point is, if you're looking for something, you're going to find it. Like that phrase, I can't remember what movie this was in. Maybe it's in a religious book somewhere, but if you're looking for trouble, you'll generally find it. I can't remember what film that was. Maybe it was Robin Hood or something like that. And I'm only saying that because the voice that popped in my head when I went back to the memory of hearing the phrase was a British voice. I'm assuming it was a Robin Hood type movie. But when you're looking for trouble, you'll generally find it. When you're looking for beauty, you'll generally find it. I said this yesterday as I was reminding us of the exercise that Lindsay Fauntleroy used to have us engage in when we would do our soul medicine segments. And her exercise was to make it your intention today to go out and take a picture of the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And when you tell yourself today, part of my intention is to take a picture of the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen, you're going to see beauty everywhere. And I know this because I tried it. I tried it today. As I put in my moment of gratitude journal, I put down that my plan for beauty today was going to be to look for beauty wherever I could find it. And I'm on the train, y'all. So it wasn't even I wasn't expecting to see anything beautiful. But as I'm looking out as through the window of the train that I'm on, because it was above ground, I ended up looking out over this field, and it was like there was nothing particularly spectacular about the field. I mean, it was like an open field, with the waterways and everything coming into it. But the way the sun was positioned and the way the light hit the field and the way the light reflected off of the puddles of water in the field, it was freaking gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Now, this is an industrial park. Ain't nothing necessarily gorgeous about the industrial park on its own. But I set as my intention. That's what I wrote down in my journal this morning. I wrote down that I am going to look for as much beauty as I can find. And I have to say that because I know that today's Giving Tuesday and I'm going to be searching for as much money as I can find. And to me, that is a beautiful thing. So, I'm doing all these things to psych myself out. And I ended up seeing the most beautiful sight just on the train ride. Now, I was moving too slow and I was reading my Financial Times paper version. So I didn't have my phone in my hand, so I couldn't take a picture of it. So I didn't actually complete the exercise of finding something beautiful and taking a picture thereof. But when you're looking for trouble and you're used to red flags, that tends to be all that you look for. That tends to be all that you see. Today's post is something that was shared by, let me see, HER, Her Psychology. I almost said herpes psychology. I was like, that's not correct. But it's shared by an account called Her Psychology. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from, but I saw HERP and sorry, folks. Her Psychology is the name of the account that shared this. I don't follow Her Psychology. Maybe I should, particularly after that Freudian slip. But as opposed to them providing a list of red flags, things that we should look for that warn us about danger, they actually posted a list of green flags. Green flags in people are the flags that show us that as opposed to being fearful and afraid and having a sense of danger about this particular entity or person or situation, this is a green flag says go. A green flag says embrace. A green flag says safety as opposed to danger. And here are some of the ways we can identify green flags in the people that we have surrounded ourselves with in our community. Here are some signs that you know that these people that you've chosen, if they're giving off these signs, you might want to continue investing in these relationships. Number one, they celebrate your wins. And there is nothing like having people in your community who are going to celebrate your wins for you, as opposed to the red flag, which might be they're jealous of your wins. And instead of celebrating them with you, they're actually a little frustrated that you got a win that they didn't. Avoid that green flag. But the red flag, if they celebrate your wins, that is something absolutely you want to consider a green flag. If they remember the small things about you, you know how you meet someone and you sort of put on your best energy, and with the best energy, they're able to remember all the big things about you, like if you've accomplished this and you've accomplished that and you've done this and that other thing. But what about, and it always feels good when, oh, somebody said Beatles, not Buggy. I'm going to go with Buggy. I just saw that on social. Thank you. The Beatles, yes, but Punch Buggy, maybe that's where I got it from. I don't know. But Beatles, Buggies, y'all know what I mean. It's a car that looks like a buggy. There you go. Thank you for that, though, Jeremy. I appreciate you. But the people who have green flags, they don't just remember the big things about you. They don't just remember the things about you that might benefit them. They remember the small things. They remember the seemingly insignificant things because you made an impression on them, and they thought it not robbery to invest enough in the memory of you that they could remember the small things about you. That's a green flag. Another green flag, when people respect your boundaries. Right? Some of y'all got an experience of getting your boundaries stepped on over the holidays, but others of you had loving experiences where people respected your boundaries and warmly embraced them. And that is a green flag. Another green flag is when you feel energized after seeing them. Because we know what the opposite of that is. You know what it is to be around people who drain your energy, who are constant drags on who you are. Those are red flags. The people who cause you to feel energized, you feel optimistic, you feel joyous after engaging with them, that's a green flag person. Green flag people listen without being defensive. Even when you're telling them something that they may have done that may have offended you or bothered you, they don't get defensive when you're talking to them. They're taking it in. They're pondering. They're thinking about what you're sharing as much as they're thinking about how they can show up and be better. When you are able to speak with someone and they hear you without being defensive, that is a green flag. Green flag people allow you to fully be yourself. To fully be yourself. You don't have to apologize for being corny. In fact, being corny is accepted and expected because they love your corniness. You don't have to apologize for any of the unique, wonderful things that make you who you are because green flag people love who you are and embrace who you are, appreciate and accept who you are fully. Green flag people make you feel safe. You don't feel like you got to watch your back around them. You feel like instead you might want to defend them because you know that they are someone around whom you feel safe, a sense of sanctity. Green flag people are people around whom you don't really have to watch what you say. Now, I'm going to put a little asterisk around here because that doesn't mean you get loose with the lips. Okay, green flag people are not walkovers or pushovers. Don't get loose with your lips now, okay? You still want to be mindful about how you communicate because how you communicate really does matter. But green flag people are not people around whom you have to tiptoe around eggshells with your words, right? You can speak with your full chest. Respectfully. Green flag people, finally, support your goals. These are not the people who raise doubts about your goals. These are not the people who cause you to doubt yourself or to worry about, whether or not you're making the right decision. Now, they will provide good insight for you, but they support your goals. They support your desire to be better. Green flag people are so important, and sometimes we spend so much time focusing on the red flags that we miss out on the green flags that are all around us. So just like Lindsay Fauntleroy instructed us to look for the most beautiful thing that you can find and take a picture of it, I'm going to encourage you to look for all the green flag people in your life. Now, they may not have all of the characteristics, but if they got, more than this, you might want to consider how you can continue supporting and caring and nurturing those relationships because you need so many more green flag people in your life than we've ever known, frankly. A lot of us are so busy worried about the red flag people that we don't invest in the green flags that will oftentimes, when we build up a community of green flag folk, we find that we are surrounded or impacted by the red flag people and circumstances far fewer. far less often than we were in when our realities were the reverse. Now, my friends, I don't know what it is today that gives you a sense of joy or gratitude or appreciation, but whatever it is, I want you to hold on to it. I want you to cherish it. I want you to nourish it. And I want you to sprinkle as much of the juicy goodness of it as you possibly can into the lives of other people, because Lord knows we could all use a bit more of it. And that, my friends, is today's moment of gratitude.